So let's have a look at the week-by-week programme.
It's Wednesday evening in a room above a pub in East London, the first night of the latest 10-week comedy course run by tutor Chris Head.
I do think anyone can be a stand-up comic. It's wonderful when someone comes along and they have funny bones, but you can always get something funny out of somebody.
Lucy Porter is a stand-up comic and regular on Radio 4 comedy shows.
I think there are lots of skills that you can learn about stand-up comedy. I think it's hard to learn funny, but you can definitely learn about how to craft a joke and moving around the stage and just basic things like how to work a microphone and what to do if people heckle you and stuff. There's definitely a lot you can learn.
So what is it that makes people sign up to a comedy evening class?
Well, I suppose I think I'm funny.
I think deep down I'd always wanted to do stand-up, but it was just way too scary to even consider.
I'm probably one of those annoying tits that, thinks they're funny in the pub and in the office, and enough people have said to me, you should give it a go, you should go on stage, for me to think, well, I don't really want to go to my grave thinking I didn't at least give it a shot.
Well, I know some of you are complete and utter beginners, and that's fine.
Tonight's class is full, and there are people from all walks of life, from lawyers to teachers, all interested in seeing if they've got what it takes to make it in the comedy world.
We always get to the end and people get up there and do stuff and get laughs. Some people do better than others, but I've not known anyone utterly dull.
I've never felt so nervous in my life coming to this first day, and yet I'm an actor. That just says everything.
I think it's a really difficult thing to do because, you have to get your persona over quite quickly in front of a group of people you don't know, whereas in the office or in the pub, they already know you, so you can make jokes based on your own personality. That's another reason I wanted to be here tonight, is to kind of learn the technical skills to be able to get that over in a very short space of time.
Paul Larson!
Paul is a former student who's just starting out.
Celebrity knighthoods. When did it become a good idea to give celebrities a knighthood?
He feels he learnt a lot on the course.
An interesting lesson was how quickly people can pick up on how you're feeling when you go onto the stage, and I think in an exercise we learned it was about within 3 seconds. So how you present yourself, just walking to the microphone, for example, was an absolutely huge lesson.
A really big area we work on is how they interact with the audience. If you're not connected with the audience, it's not going to be funny, no matter how funny the material is. Quite often you'll have people who don't want to make eye contact with the audience, for instance, so I'll just look above their heads, or even worse, I'll just look at a spot in the corner of the room. But you really have to break that down, because it is about the interaction, and it is about looking at people. Okay, so part of this exercise is beginning to work with the microphone stand.
Back at the class, the trainee comics face their first exercise to sharpen up their audience skills. Perhaps surprisingly, they're told not to try to be funny, but simply to interact with their fellow students.
Please give a big round of applause to our first conversationalist. It is Graham. Here he comes.
Hi everyone. I was really hoping not to be the first, but somebody has to, I guess. I'm going to choose to talk about holidays. Just recently booked some flights to Iceland. I'm going to Reykjavik in a few weeks. I'm not quite sure why. Has anyone here ever been to Iceland? You have? Can you suggest anything good to do?
Yeah, have your appendix out. That's what I did. True.
I wasn't planning on doing that. Maybe if things get really boring.
The exercise proves a great icebreaker, but it's a steep learning curve. In just 10 weeks' time, the course will end with the students' first ever gig in front of family and friends.
Being thrown straight into having to stand up and talk and not give any consideration to being funny, and then just trying to do the things that you've just been shown how to do, like handle a microphone and maintain eye contact with people. It was really quite exhilarating, because I didn't expect to be doing that in the first lesson. And even though it was, for me it was quite painful just realising how unfunny I am. And, and in 10 weeks' time I've got to be funny in front of 60 people. It's quite daunting, but I'm looking forward to getting to that point.
Bless you, thank you very much. You're in a good mood?
Yes. Good. Professionals on the comedy circuit like Lucy Porter make it all sound effortless.
When you drink so much, right, in a night that you wake up the next day and you're just sweating pure beer? Do you ever get that? And tramps coming up and licking you in the street,
But behind the banter lies a lot of hard work. Learning to write comedy is a key part of Chris Head's evening class. Mandy Brown is a former student.
I love internet dating. It's like shopping, isn't it? It's like a giant boyfriend supermarket.
She found one of Chris's techniques especially helpful.
He called this thing called schema mapping. So one of my topics is comparing shopping with internet dating, and the tutor tries to encourage you to do. He calls it worlds colliding. So you try and find links between the world of shopping and the world of internet dating, like using a wonky trolley, a trolley with a wonky wheel, to be like another thing. So you've always got to ask yourself, what if, or what's it like? You then try and superimpose the other world onto the observational world. That's what I like.
Anyone been on Guardian Soulmates? Soulmates is the Waitrose of internet dating, isn't it? Everyone's all well-educated and organic.
This was Mandy's very first gig at the end of the course. It went really well.
The second one I did on my own was, it was okay. I was a lot more nervous, but I did get some laughs. And then my third gig that I did was quite disappointing. I didn't really get that many laughs. It was quite a subdued, weird audience.
My advice for aspiring comedians is always just work at it, really. It sounds so boring, but it is all about stage time. Just to get as many shows under your belt as you can, and, you know, embrace dying when you have a terrible gig. As you're crying yourself to sleep at night afterwards, then just remember it will get better. And it's been a good learning experience.
I did think, oh, I'll just give up. I only did it for the experience. I don't need to make a career out of this. But then it's so addictive. It's really exciting thinking about going on stage and what you're going to say. And I like having a secret life, being a teacher in the daytime and then rushing off to West Hampstead to get on stage in the evening.